Well, I promised you wonderful food, and oh, it just looks delicious. I want to attack it, but I can't mess them up because they're all just so beautifully displayed. With me is Gil Ferreira. He is the executive chef at the Ramada Marlborough. We're delighted to have you here, Gil.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And you did a great job, and I imagine Gord Dong also had something to do with it. Gord, you are the sous chef?
Yes, I am.
At the Ramada Marlborough. Now, this takeover is just recent, isn't it? The Ramada coming into the Marlborough.
Yes, it's only been, I believe, approximately 6 months, around there, four to 6 months. Yeah.
Now, is there any difference? I mean, you've been with the Marlborough for some time now, 9 years, I believe?
9 years, yes.
So does this mean anything different for you, or is it an upgrade in the restaurants, or is it basically you're just good quality food that people don't know about?
Well, we did get a lot of bad publicity in the past with the German Congress, but we're trying to get back into the groove of things, and we think with the Ramada chain it'll help us.
Well, what you've got prepared for us today is wonderful. We're going to take a look at that. But, Gord, you're going to make a very special dish, and perhaps we'll get you started on that, because I imagine there's a little sautéing here. Mm-hmm. What are you going to be making for us?
We're going to make scallops of salmon with a lemon chive sauce.
Now, when you say scallops of salmon, it kind of confuses me. I thought you were going to have scallops and salmon. You said, no, scallops of salmon. Is that?
Yes, that's just the way the salmon's cut.
The way it's cut. All right. And you're going to start now with sautéing some, well, what have you got for us here? You're going to start with the...
We've got a little olive oil.
Mm-hmm. Do you use olive oil mostly in your cooking?
We do olive oil and canola oil.
Both. Olive oil, yes. Canola oil, and butter?
Very little.
Very little butter?
Yeah, we use the butter to finish off the sauces.
Yeah.
There seems to be a change, Gil, in the last few years especially. Lower fat, less salt, less... You still want the flavor, but do you have changes to your recipes all the time because of people saying, well, we don't want anything, you know, too fatty?
We do. We have some menus, some items on the menu that are low fat, but with fine dining, you do have to use a little more cream.
You gotta go for it when you're out for dining. All right.
You do.
Let's take a look while he's just preparing. We'll kind of go back and forth to Gord and see what he's doing there. Let's take a look at this particular dish. Now, one of the things, of course, when chefs like yourself prepare anything, it's a work of art. Now, I think they can get the overhead with this. I don't know. Can we? Or do we need to move this plate over? Just let me know, guys, because we're looking at this dish here. This is chicken?
Yes, it's chicken with a duxelle.
A duxelle, and that is, you said, a mushroom? It's
a mushroom. What it is sautéed mushrooms and onions with some herbs, a little bit of garlic. Then you take it, you puree it, and you stuff it back into the chicken breast.
And then you cut it a certain way. It just makes it look so elegant.
Fan it out, yes.
You fan it out,
yes.
And with a little bit of dill. And what kind of sauce is that?
That's a grainy mustard sauce.
So it gives a little bit of a tang to it as well?
It's quite tangy, and you see there's mustard seeds in there as well.
You actually see the mustard seeds as well. That is lovely. Now, here we have, are we still in mirror range there, guys? It's a leg of lamb, is it? Or a rack of lamb?
A rack of lamb.
A rack of lamb. But how did you do that? You twisted it somehow. I guess you do that in the preparation of cooking it?
Basically what it is we start off with the first piece, and then we just keep overlapping them.
Oh, I
until
see.
It ends up being fanned out, yes.
That is beautiful. And with that, I noticed there's, what is olives and what else is there?
Olives, tomatoes, green onions, garlic. It's a brothy type of sauce, so it's white wine. And it's a Mediterranean type of sauce.
Looks absolutely yummy. Let's take a look back now to see what Gord is doing. Now, you're just sautéing the...
Well, we're going to cook the salmon till it's almost done, and we'll take it off, and we'll deglaze the pan, add the herbs, the spices, and make a sauce from there.
One of the key things that we talk about on, on our show in the cooking segments is that it's so important to watch the cooking time, especially with fish, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's you can't overcook fish or else you'll end up with a very dry product.
It's that moist, it breaks away, and when it breaks away, is that when it's done, basically?
You can take it off just a little bit before then, because the fish will continue cooking itself afterwards.
Now, I notice you've got, have you just got a little bit of pepper and salt on it, or what is it?
Just very lightly seasoned with salt and pepper.
So the cut, when you talk about a scallop of salmon, it's just cut a different way, basically, instead of like a salmon steak.
Yeah, under steak
or a fillet. Yes.
Basically thin slices is what it is.
Do you find that people are ordering more fish now in the restaurants?
Actually, yes, they are. Yes, they are. We do sell quite a bit of fish, as a matter of fact. We have fish on our specials, and they're always a good seller.
At
Sell a
one
lot of
time,
fish.
it used to be just steak. You know, you
Yeah.
go out, you have steak
Yes.
or roast beef, and now there's a much more varied selection of fish on most
Right.
menus anyway.
Right. It's fish and chicken, actually. It's both.
What kind of fish do you serve are the most popular? Like salmon is one?
Salmon is one. We have an item on the menu which is called a Seafood Victor's, and its assortment. It's got salmon, it has whitefish, scallops, mussels, and it's done in a dill cream sauce. Very light cream sauce, however.
Well, I have to tell you, I was at a reception that you put on last night, the Ramada Marlborough, and I might as well just have sat down at the, well, there were no chairs there, thank goodness, at the table where you had the gold eye.
Right.
Now, is that an appetizer, the gold eye?
The gold eye, we don't actually have that on the menu. That is only for buffets or special
that was
occasions,
right.
that type of thing.
Well, that was a very special occasion, and that was
Yeah.
wonderful. In fact, your whole display was just knocked everybody's socks off, I think.
Thank you.
So that was wonderful. All right, now, Gord, you're going to continue doing this just a little bit more, then you're going to make a sauce? Is that what you're...
I'd say actually the salmon's quite done already.
All right. Well, you're going to take that off, and just while you're starting that, let's take a look at a couple of the desserts, because I must tell you, this dessert right here, this is called the Floating Island.
Floating Island, yes.
I didn't care what it was called. I just ate it. Last night, I said, well, you know, maybe I can stay away from the dessert table, and I couldn't. I had no willpower whatsoever. But I said, this is okay, because this is just basically egg white, and there's no calories in it, whatever, right?
Right. There's only a little bit of sugar in there, so it's very
But it's
minimal.
basically
Yeah.
a meringue.
Yes.
And the cream sauce, now that is where it's the heavy cream, right?
Yes, it is. It's heavy cream, and it's basically a base of egg yolks.
I know,
So
so
it's just egg
I
yolks
have
and
to
cream.
admit, I kind of
Yes.
tried not to eat too much of that because I was trying to get the no-calorie stuff.
Right.
But I must have had 3 helpings. I'm sorry. You
That's
know,
okay.
but it was very good. This is something that I thought was kind of different. It's called a chocolate pate.
It's a chocolate pate, yes. Yes.
Now, what is the white in it? Is that a...
It's a white chocolate.
Oh, it's a white
Yeah,
chocolate. It's all
dark-
chocolate.
Right, it's solid chocolate. It's very, very rich. It's white and dark chocolate.
And mega calories. This
Mega.
is solid.
That's,
right.
That's why we slice it that thin.
But people, do they, you know, I've noticed people in restaurants, they want to sample something like that, but perhaps that might be too much for one. So do people come in and say, well, we'll order a dessert, but we'll split it?
Yeah, that happens quite often, actually,
Yeah.
especially with something like the chocolate pate. That happens a lot.
Because it's very rich.
Right.
You know, but now this is only 2 of the many desserts that you
Right,
have. I mean,
correct.
there's a wide selection, and you can get fruit cups and whatnot if you really want to go low
Sure,
cal, right?
sure.
All right, Gord, let's take a look at what we're doing over here. You have added some, is that green onion?
No, actually the chives.
Chives, okay. See, I'm wrong again, okay. And just slicing in some
Some lemon zest.
lemon rind, lemon zest.
And we put lemon juice, white wine, some shallots, some pureed garlic, and we'll add a little bit more, touch of salt, touch of pepper. I like to finish off the sauces with just a little bit of butter, just to make it a little
You know,
bit
there's
richer.
nothing that substitutes for the butter flavor.
No,
I mean, there
no,
are
no.
certain things that you just have to have, like shortbread without butter is not shortbread,
doesn't
right?
work, yeah.
You have to have it. And I guess other certain sauces, too. It just, there's something about the flavor of butter that you can't, you know,
As long as you control how much butter you use, it's fine.
yeah, you try to watch it.
Right.
And then simply you just pour that sauce over the
Correct.
salmon. That looks luscious. It's really interesting, though, how when you're training to be a chef, how really artistic you have to be.
You have to be. You have to be. You eat with your eyes first.
Now, you were scared to come today. I know that. Was that easy?
It was easy.
It was very easy.
Very good.
Gord, why don't you hand me that? I'm going to put it over here so we can get a nice overhead shot of this wonderful dish. And I love what you did with the lemon slices and also the pea pods. What are those? What are they called?
Snow
peas.
peas. Snow peas, that's right. And that looks absolutely wonderful. And of course, you can have this as your entree, and you could have soup or salad or whatever.
Right. Basically, they come with 3 vegetables and then a starch.
3 vegetables and a starch.
And a starch as well, as a side dish.
Like your potato, your rice, or what do people order mostly? Rice or potatoes? I'm often interested in knowing.
Actually, rice nowadays.
Really?
Yeah. Basically, potatoes come with your meat items, your steaks, your lamb, that type of thing. But people are changing that, though. They'll replace that with the rice or pasta.
Now, you're in charge of the all the restaurants in the Ramada Marlborough.
Right.
And Victor's is the main restaurant, a very beautiful setting.
Right.
And so we invite you to go down, go and see Gil in the back or Gord and ask for one of their special dishes. Listen, we were delighted to have you down here today, and I'm going to dig into the salmon in just a moment. We're going to take a break. We're going to show you how you can win some bulbs right after this.